All right, this is a way to do one-point perspective with the plan projection. So if I take a plan, this just little sample plan that I whipped up here. Instead of when you do two-point perspective, as you know, you put a corner here through the picture plane. This is your picture plane up here, as you know. Doot. And then if you're down here, you've got your station point, and your vanishing points come from going parallel to the architecture right and left, which is a right angle, and then you drop them down. With one-point perspective, you put the entire back wall through the picture plane. So I'll do that. Get up closer and see. Good. And get some dots. Still through it. Yeah, very good. All right. Okay, so I'll put my picture, I'll put my station point like, station point does not need to be dead center. I can be a little bit off. I'm going to be right here off to the left side of this sofa. In which case, yeah, I think I'll even be a little bit farther back like here. And with one-point perspective in projection, your vanishing point is going to be on your horizon line. So here's your horizon line, directly below the station point. So if I do this, I've got this on gridded paper. There. Vanishing point is directly below. Let me just check and see. Yeah, that's good. Project stuff that comes closer to me. Good. Okay. So anything, as you know, when you draw a point up to the picture plane from your station point, or if you have like with that back corner in two-point perspective, anything that intersects the picture plane is brought down into the perspective drawing. In this case, your picture plane goes through that entire back wall. So from these corners, you can come straight down. So the width of the back wall in the perspective, oops, don't slide. There, there's the cork side, so it sticks a little. Right. There. Okay, so this is the width of it, and if I have, it's a 1/4 inch scale approximately for that plan, so I can just use a regular ruler. If you can see, I've just got regular ruled scale here. I'll do 9-foot ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 up, 5 down. And then I'll do the same over here. 4 up. 2, 3, 4, 5 down. There. And then this can all get erased. The extra lines. Okay. There we go. Hmm? Yeah, it looks like it's a little bit, maybe a little bit taller on that left side, on that right side. Okay, well, close enough. So now that I've got my back wall brought down, which just comes straight down. So this is different from the 2-point version. Out in perspective. Out in perspective. Get out of here. Out in perspective. So this is how you would set up the perspective in 1 point. And of course, like, the width of so this looks smaller. It's a little deceptive. It looks smaller than that. The way I've laid this out, this is kind of, jammed with some furniture, but it's a demonstration. Okay, so I've got windows here on either side, left and right. And so here's where, like, the projection in 1 point from the station point, it's the same as 2 point. You go up through this corner, and then the outer corner. You get the wind. Oh, it was like not even there. And then this corner right here. But, so I'm doing, get this a little bit bigger for you. Okay, so you can see I projected from the station point up through these 3 visible corners of the window. And while I'm at it here, I can do the other side. Okay. Just this here. See that because my station point is not centered, these angles are different because I'm much farther to the left. So I'm going to see the window on the right differently than I see the window on the left. The window on the left will be more foreshortened. That is, it's seen at a flatter angle in perspective. Okay, so good. Now I'm going to come down here. This down, so there. It's right on that line. That's good. I can get that. Sort of fortunate. I used gridded paper for the plan, so I've got some guide for bringing things down straight since I'm not using a drafting table. Okay, so here, my window, these are the vertical edges of the window that correspond with those 3 points. And if this is, let's say this is a floor-to-ceiling window, this would just go from like here straight across like that, and then for this exterior, like the outside of the wall, like that. Good. And if I want to put glass in there, I can just approximate center. You can do, if you're working at a smaller scale, you could just like maybe like make a double line to try to show like some framing or even just like a gasket that holds the glass in. You know, modern windows are kind of like easy that way. Right, good. So there's that, and then this other window. Right here is the inside, about halfway. This one's shorter, or like a smaller, not a floor-to-ceiling window there. This is like the length of these right now is arbitrary. I have to work out. I'm gonna put like the top and the bottom at a certain height, and I'll put scale here on the wall. With 1 point perspective, you could just grid this entire back wall because you'd have the same scale. Like the height of the room is in scale here, and so if you needed to get something like like a cabinet countertop 3 feet off the floor this way or 30 inches off the floor this way, you would mark the height and scale here and then draw out. If it's on this side, you can just mark the scale over on this wall in this corner and draw it out. Okay, I'm going to get this projected down here. Yeah, it's going to be taller there. So let's say this window is 2 feet from the floor. I'll go over and measure mine. 2 feet from the floor and 2 feet from the ceiling. Okay. So anywhere from the floor up on that entire back wall is where you would have scale. So I'm going through this point right here. Don't get confused by your these lines that I drew longer than I need. This is arbitrary. I just want to make sure I've got the vertical line in the right spot. And then I will crop it when I do the scale off of that corner. This extra is gonna come off of here. And because it's 1 point perspective, I'm going to see that's close enough. So from this corner, it's just horizontal to this line on the right, and then there. This is where you need a really sharp pencil, and I'm breaking my own rule by not holding my pencil up. That's not bad. Okay, so that's windows based on this. I hope that makes sense to you. And then sofa, end table here. These are away from the wall, so what you can do, like with 2 point perspective, whoop, that's the laundry timer. With 2 point perspective, you would go back, like you might go back to the wall this way or the other way. In 1 point, if you go back to the wall from here, you're just going straight up and then you're coming straight down. That means you can skip the step of going straight up and just bring this straight down to the base of the wall. So it's because it's lined up with the like parallel, or actually in this case it's perpendicular to the back wall. That, that, that. Okay, and these two come out in perspective. So all these lines will come out in perspective. So that is the edge of the sofa coming forward, and then that's the edge of the side table coming forward. Now that I've got this, I can project corners. So like with the sofa, I don't have to project all four corners, but I need the front and the back. So I'm going to project the front and the back corners. And bring those down. That's the front. And that. That's the back. Just draw this. I can draw this little vertical. I don't know exactly where my height's going to fall. But once I got those 2 points on at the base, like that wall, that line coming out in perspective, I can do this. Ah, dang it. Clamp down on this thing. Like to slide. It's a little easier to have it. Well, that's badly done. That's just not parallel. That's because I'm not using a drafting table. I'm going to correct for that by redrawing it and changing the angle. That's better. That is better. So if I have, let's say, the back wall, so the back of the sofa is 30. That's 1, 2.5. 1, 6. Go. So 1, 2.5. I'm going to come across here. That's 2.5. Back here, where this edge of the sofa goes all the way back to the wall, I go up and then out in perspective from that point on the wall, and that gives me my height there. 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 And then from here I'm going up to the front edge. So this is on the front of the this one. And then this I will go back to the vanishing point. And there. And there is the box that the sofa fits into. All right, so the sofa's boxed in, and so the table that's sitting next to it, I can see that that table is blocked, but I think if I just project this front and back, just as I did with the sofa, there, two, it just almost to the wall. So that can come across that. And that. Good. And with the height here, I'm just going to put that. Need. So that's the position, like where this table lines up against the wall. And then 18 inches, I just do like, see, 1 foot, 1.5, 6, 9. Good. So the 1.5 is right there. It's out. There, this can go up there, there. It's pretty small, so I can kind of fudge it a little bit. There you can see a little bit, teeny bit of the edge there. Small, but it's better. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now this chair, it's in 2-point, this like sitting at an angle, it's in 2-point perspective. You could, if you had a wide enough piece of paper, just for this object, I could go from the station point, like parallel to this edge, go up, and I could create like a set of 2-point, 2 vanishing points just for that object. But because it's in 1-point perspective, that can be, well, my 1 vanishing point is going to be way off the paper. So an alternative is that you can project, you can do this in 2-point also, like go back to the wall, and you can just really take these 4 corners, and again, with 1-point projection, it's simpler, but it might, the difference between 1 and 2-point projection can be sometimes a little bit confusing, but from the corners here, if I come straight down in perspective, or from straight down from the corners down to the base of the wall, We got 1, 2, 3, 4 corresponds with these 4 corners. I will draw out in perspective from those 4 points at the base of the wall. And what's going to happen is, it's really as if, like you try to remember, like try to need them out that long. If I'm drawing these straight from the corners back, I'm going back up to the picture plane and then straight down to the base of this, and then I draw these lines. These lines here would be this in perspective. This line up here, this one, this one, this one. So with these 4 lines drawn on the floor in perspective, correlating to the corners of the chair, now I can project each of the 4 corners and make them and bring like this line, like from this one, this one. I'll project these down to the corresponding line in the perspective drawing. So you can do this in 2 point. You can do it in 1 point. So I've got like there, 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 and there. So this one is this closer one. So I have to bring these down to the right line. This one comes down to that's about good. Right there. This one for the back corner comes down to second one. 1, 2. This one, the third one, is going to be out here in the front. So I'll bring this down to my third line. Okay, and then this corner over here is this one. I'm going to bring that down to my 4th line. And this, if I do this carefully and correctly, I got a mark here, a mark here, a mark here, and a mark here. It allows me to connect these. Right, and that's where that falls on the floor. So I know that's it's a few extra steps, but it's a way to draw an object that's sitting angled in 2-point perspective to your viewpoint when you're in a 1-point drawing. Then, like up here, you can go up. Like let's say, like I want to get the height of, like the back of the chair is going to be 1, 2. Great. I'll just make it taller so that it's not the same as the sofa. That's against the wall. This I will bring up to that 3-foot height and go out in perspective, and then this can come up to it like that. And this is also So let's just say I'm going to start it out like it's a box. Let's see, this one, do here. Make sure you got the right corresponding line there. That goes up to there. And then these would connect right there. This one comes out. Goes up here. That's straight. Better. This one up to here. There. And that is that object sitting at an angle. That's okay. So it is a lot of extra steps. If you have something in your drawing and you want to do something like this, you have an angle and you want to just like, bring points back to the wall instead of like trying to locate the like vanishing points for 2 point within a 1 point drawing. Try that. And if you need me to demonstrate it for you, I'll do it. I can demonstrate it in class, or just I can meet you online and do that. Okay, so that is basic projection. So like down here, once I've got this stuff projected, now I can just draw. I've got all this stuff projected. I really don't need the plan anymore for what's there. So now I'm just in the perspective drawing, and then I can draw like and even here. So if like this is like the height of this sofa, the box that the sofa fits in is 30. So that's the back. This depending on the style of your sofa, I would look at a photograph of a sofa that you want to put in there, and then just draw it in. You can approximate heights, like if it's just a little bit off the floor and the legs only show a little bit, then you can just say, this looks about right. And that's it. And then here are the legs. And then the frame of it, like the frame of it might be like here. Let's try like a green one. So we have this. So like for the thickness of the arm, if I can approximate it and make it look enough like the picture of the the sofa that I'm using, then I don't need to it doesn't like the measurements can be approximate there. So I've got to have like this side here for the side of the seat cushion going to the vanishing point like that. Like that. Ooh. Okay, there we go. Simple sofa. Right, and if you want to get better at freehand drawing like that, take the summer class, Advanced Sketching in Perspective, and it'll do you a lot of good, especially right after taking this class. All right, I'll see you in class, online or in person.